There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Safely aboard. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Continuing to putt with confidence. And just like the lone fir tree, there is now just one man with the lead, Martin Kaymer. Rory now in second behind Kaymer, looking at a difficult second shot here at the par 3 15th.
Missed the green on the left, Rich. Just that pot bunker between him and the hole. And there's only about 8 or 9 feet of green to work with. So this flop shot is going to have to be hit very high to make sure that ball lands soft. And at this point, it's critical to save par.
And he's made it onto the green.
Rich, you get that feeling. If there's going to be a moment, I think that moment is now.
Trying to clean this up, make his par. Struggling a bit with the flat stick, and a drop shot here at the 15th hole. Just a couple of feet. And he makes it for a bogey here.
Final few holes to play, especially of a major championship like the US Open. You know, it's what you've worked so hard for. It's what, you know, you've put all those hours of practice in for, and you know, this is your moment. This is your moment to see what you've got against the best players in the world and test yourself at the ultimate level. There's obviously a lot of pressure. You know, you don't want to let an opportunity like this pass you by. You don't want to let it slip. So just stay really focused, really concentrated. Try to take one shot at a time. Try and put the result out of your mind. Control what you can control. But saying that, it is difficult with so many things going on around you, whether it be the crowd or it could be the person that you're going up against. You know, there's so many things that you can't control, but you know, the things that you can control, that's what you have to concentrate on, and that's what you have to try and, you know, do to the best of your ability. And if you can do that, that's what gives you the best chance to try and win a huge tournament like the US Open.
So here at the 17th hole, tie atop the leaderboard, two former U.S. Open champions, 2 holes to play. This is one of golf's best moments.
We talked about mental toughness on the first tee. It certainly comes into play here right now, and the 17th hole is named Derailed. And it is going to be more than a test for both of these, and could very well be the defining hole.
Now the game's #1 player, Rory McIlroy, ready with his approach.
Now McIlroy cleaning up here at 17.
Well, you could see he thought he had that.
It looked in the whole way until the end.
Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Locked in on the read and the speed. He's made it. One hole left to play here at the United States Open Championship. It all comes down to this. Frank, what does Rory need to do here off the tee?
Well, he has a big advantage, Rich. It's unusual actually to have a par 5 in a US Open as a finishing hole. He's slightly longer than Kaymer off the tee, so he has more chance of reaching this par 5 and 2.
What a great drive on the final hole. Frank, the great thing about these major championships is the slow build-up to moments just like this, and then it gets really tense.
It's a dream scenario, Rich. You just dream that you're going to have the two best players in the game vying it out, coming down to the very last hole. That's exactly what we have right now. So far, they've provided great golf. It's going to take something even better than that right now to determine who's going to win.
What a shot. I mean, McIlroy just aired it out.
If there was any risk there, it certainly didn't look like it.
Could hear a pin drop right now. It all comes down to this. This is for the U.S. Open. Pretty good stroke right there. Just hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
Rory for birdie to put some pressure on Martin Kaymer. Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
This is a long putt. Really, the key is the speed. If it drops, that's a bonus. Well, Frank, you hear it so often. This is a game of dealing with your miscues.
That's the beauty of this game of golf. It giveth and it taketh away.
Well, that's just a case of not focusing right there. What a lapse in concentration. The door was open, but Martin Kaymer slammed it shut. Kaymer, the U.S. Open champion yet again. It came down to the final hole. Kaymer really put on a show. This will forever be remembered as one of the best finishes in major championship history.
Lose a lead or you lose a major, or it doesn't quite work out the way you had hoped. At that moment in time, there's obviously a lot of disappointment, but I think that passes and you use that as motivation for the next one. And that's the only way you can view it. You can't feel sorry for yourself, or you can't get down about it, because what's happened's happened. The past is the past, and you move on. But you use it as motivation not to let it happen again. My toughest loss was the 2011 Masters, when I had a 4-shot lead going into the final round, and completely blew up on the back nine. It was a very tough moment for me. It was very disappointing, but I used that as motivation to say to myself, that's not going to happen again. That's not the player I am. That's not the player I want to be. I used it in a way that 70 days later, I won my first US Open and my first major. So sometimes disappointments can be catalysts for good things to happen in the future, and it's just how you react to it. And I feel like, if you react to your disappointments in the right way, they can be very beneficial.
This is EA Sports, PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Today we're here at Chambers Bay in University Place, Washington. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, set to bring you all of the action. Frank, what can you tell us about this golf course?
We've got a big golf course in front of us today. Robert Trent Jones II designed this golf course really to fit in with these marvelous surroundings. But consequently, we have like what I would call almost an inland links. It's going to play like that. Ideally, you'd like to play this golf course through the air, but it's very exposed to the elements.
Oh, he loves that one. You can see it. This one is high, it is deep, and it is gone. Now the approach here at hole number 1, and Frank, what are we looking at?
Well, semi-blind, but it's fine. You know, just a little peek and you can see what's in front of you. Really no bunkers down the left side. If you do miss down there, a little chip back up the hill, but it's a big enough green. Oh, nice strike, Rich. Not quite directly in line with the flag.
Just drifting a bit to the right, but he'll settle. Just a beautiful approach shot. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it's going to hurt the cause.
Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. To 1 over par early on in this round. Now to the second hole here at Chambers Bay, and Frank, it is not overly long. Where's the trouble here?
Well, 281 yards really to the big long bunker that goes all the way to the green. So as long as you can avoid that, you don't have to hit driver down here, just something that's going to be a little short of that. You're still only going to have 100 yards really, or just over 100 yards in for your second shot. A really good chance too to get off to a good start. In the direction of the sand.
Looks like it. Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Oh, can't hide the flag stick from that man. And getting ready for the putt. Rough start with that bogey on number 1, but right back at it with a birdie to even up the card. At the third tee now, Frank, and what are we staring at here?
This green is anything other than symmetrical, so be very, very cautious on where the flag is. Anything in the middle of the green you can putt to the corners, well, if you can call them corners, more like ragtails, but beautiful par 3.
This is a good-looking shot. Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Looking to make a move. This putt for birdie. Really has it going now. Consecutive birdies. Frank, here on the 4th tee, you get a good look, don't you, at what Chambers Bay really is all about.
It's framed beautifully, Rich, by the bunkers there, left, short, off the tee, plus the ones down the right side. You can see everything in front of you, but the hole does bend to the right. This is another one where you've got a generous fairway, but don't be fooled by that. It's fairway first.
Tough par 4 measuring 495 yards. Frank, this is a way to make golf easy when you can hit it that deep.
Oh, I'm going to say, I know that first number's a 3. I'm guessing the second one's a 2. Let's call it 320.
On the green, and looking at a birdie opportunity.
Well, Rich, if he can make this one, add it to that string of birdies.
And generating some momentum now. That's a birdie for McIlroy. He's just so explosive. Frank, it's kind of fun to swing away on an elevated tee like this, the 5th here at Chambers Bay.
It looks straight away. It certainly does. And under 500 yards, so it gives you a chance, plus that elevation. You should be able to knock one down there. The whole pinch is in, though, with those bunkers left and right. And there's just one bunker in the front of this green. And that, as you can guess, should be avoided.
Be careful. They call this hole free fall. Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Making it look easy at this point. Another beautiful approach shot. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Now they're rolling. 3 under par. Ready to tee off here at the 6th. Frank, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee here?
Well, as long as it's not in the rough, the bunkers, well, there's no trees here, really. That little green strip, that runway down there, another hole that bends to the right. But find the fairway. The fairway's wide enough. You've got a pretty good idea exactly where you want to go. And once again, this is one of the shorter par 4s. So good drive here, just a short iron out. This has exploded off the club face.
Setting up for another approach, our featured golfer has continued that excellent play from earlier in the round.
Indeed, there's no better feeling in the world than when you know you're firing on all cylinders. Hitting fairways, second shot's just going straight at the flag. Right now, everything is working.
That's well played. Now a good look at birdie.
I've heard of being on the zone, but this is just making it look so easy.
Just sensational golf. I mean, he is knocking down every flagstick right now. What a performance. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Well, it was bound to come to an end at some point. Drops just one shot after that terrific stretch of birdies. On the 7th tee now, it is over 500 yards from the back tee.
Yeah, this is called humpback, and you can see why there's all those mounds and undulations between you and the hole, plus all that amazing bunkering down the right side. All to be avoided, really. If you can do that, then you get a decent look at this green. But yeah, you've mentioned it, 500 plus yards. It's going to play longer than that uphill.
Can't ask for much more here at the 7th. He has hit a good one. Let's see what McIlroy does now with his second. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Now the game's #1 player, Rory McIlroy, ready with his approach. Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Frank, we see it every single round. These kind of putts determine whether it's a good score or an average score.
Yeah, and just like that, a bogey. And does not feel like he deserves it.
That's about as depressing a moment as there is in golf. When you miss the bogey putt, you know you're staring at double. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. So with that, the score is now at even par. Now to the 8th and a long par 5, Frank.
Fortunately, there's no bunkers, just the dunes either side. The hole looks a little narrow off the tee, but get down there, you're going to realize that's a fairly generous fairway. There's a little bit of mounding in this green, too, that actually slopes it back towards the player. So use that to your advantage.
Good contact, good result. That's a good start to the hole, right down the middle. Good lie in the fairway, and a good chance to make something happen here. That was a big, bold strike, and now a chance for a big, bold move. Putt for eagle coming up. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Just 5 feet left. That is a handful. 5 birdies now for the round. What a day. Frank, the 9th hole is called Olympus. Feels as though Russell Crowe should be standing on the tee, starring in some sort of a movie about the Greek gods.
I knew you'd go like Titans in that down here. But this golf course is for the mere mortals, Rich. This isn't for the Greek gods and the Titans of the world. They might think they are, but this is for you and me. This is for everybody. 36 handicappers. We can all play here. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. What was he thinking there?
I have no earthly idea.
That looked like a miss hit, Frank.
The lie was okay. It's a little surprising. Maybe wrong club.
Frank, this is where the mental game really comes into play. You've hit a second consecutive shot into the rough.
Yeah, this could compound very, very quickly. So now's the chance to just take a little breath, take a breather, and try to make sure this shot certainly gets out.
A makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par. So our featured player will lose a shot. The question is, has the player lost their way completely?
Nice.
Looks good.
That's an absolute beauty.
Frank, on an uphill shot like this one, did you do anything differently in terms of your setup over the ball?
Yeah, I made sure the ball wasn't too far forward because on an uphill shot, there's always a struggle to get all your weight going forward.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
This would be a huge momentum swing. This one's for birdie. Oh my gosh, that hurts. Tough start to the backside, Frank.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well, too. You start losing confidence with the putter early on.
Routine stuff for Rory. That's a par. Stepping up to the tee here at the 11th, Frank.
It looks straightforward. You'll see a big dune in the middle of the fairway. You can really take that out of play. Get it down there as far as you can. You're going to need to. And then from there on in, it's really just trying to find out exactly where you want to land that second shot so that you can get it on the right level. Can we get a measure on that one? That's enormous.
The 11th hole, Frank, what's the right way to get at it?
Just got to be cognizant of that ridge that cuts through the middle of this green that sort of turns this green into one simple green into all these little complex sort of sections. That's the biggest thing, but that's also, you realize very, very quickly, you're playing links golf today.
Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Has the putt, and now at -1. The 12th here at Chambers Bay is known as the Narrows. What's the play here, Frank?
Two, really. You could just sort of iron it down there, have a little wedge or a pitch in there with no sweat whatsoever. Or, if you want to have a little bit of fun, if you can drive it over that bunker that's just short left of this green, you might just putt for an eagle.
Not quite what he wanted. Tee shot is in the bunker. Looking to splash this softly onto the green.